Welcome back to Macro Day here at Scriptcase by Jamie. And of course, I am Jamie, your guide through the labyrinth of Scriptcase macros. And today we are venturing into the realm of the SC hide group by rule macro, a tool so powerful it will make your group by rules vanish faster than a magician's rabbit. So let's unravel the mystery behind this macro and see how it can add a touch of magic to your applications. So I will start off today, first of all, with the blank macro page, and I'm not running it as I normally am because for some reason it is giving me an error, which as I have running right now is the SC get by rule, and this was a previous macro I had displayed. So if you like that macro, you will like this one, but for some reason when I add or change the macro around, the blank application is giving me an error, which is very odd considering all I'm doing is changing the name of my macro here. Anyway, as you can see here, I have some examples, but first of all, let's dive into the purpose of the SC hide group by rule. And the purpose of this macro is to disable group by rules at runtime. And it is ideal for dynamically controlling the visibility of group by options based, say, on user roles or other conditions that you may have applied within your application. And the syntax is quite straightforward. We have here the straightforward macro, which is then SC hide group by rule, and we place that within our grid application and then within the on application init event. And with that, we can then maybe change the group by rules according to our group, as we have exampled here. So this is how you would then type out the macro and use it within your application. So you would type SC underscore hide underscore group by underscore rule, have your brackets, and then place your groups separated by commas within hyphens, and off you go. And of course, don't forget to close that up. Now, once you've done that, you can then change the group by rules that you have within your grid application. Now, I have here some dynamic options where, for instance, we have a user login group applied, and that user login group would, for instance, be here the seller. And with that, then when the user group or user login group equals the seller, then we will apply the SC hide group by rule within the grid application, and that will then display X rules, whichever we have defined here, of course. So now with that, we have then here also a switch where you have that defined via user permission. And then for admin, you would maybe have all of the group options displayed, and then otherwise you would then hide those group by rules that you have within the application for a manager or somebody else within your groups. For instance, here by default, you would maybe hide all of your rules so that other users would not have the group by functionality available. So let's have a quick look at that. So if I copy that, and I have here the grid 05 available, which is in the samples project. And here, if I come to events and on application init, what I'll do is I'll paste that there and leave that there for now. And then with the macro applied in here, we can check what rules we have here for the group by. and we have the static group by, and we have some settings and fields here. And if we come here to see the settings, we will see that we have the country applied here, and we can make some adjustments of that to that if we want to. Now, one important factor of this macro is that we do need more than one group by applied here. So let me add another group by, and let me indicate here maybe the state ID, and there I will set state and give that a label of state, and we can go ahead and save that down here. And then with that saved, we then have our state here applied, and then with that we have two group bys. Now if I come back here to on application init, and if I comment this out, and then we can see this grid application running as it is, and there we then have our grid application. So like that, we have our group by customer X states applied here. Now we have no buttons or anything applied in here either, so we do need to apply these here too, so that we can actually view the various group bys. So if I add that here to the right, let's go ahead and run that grid again. Now I have here the group by customer and state available. Now if I come back here to my grid application and on application init, and then here I will hide then the customer, for instance, which is then essentially our first group by rule. And then running that, we have the states now enabled and the customers actually disabled and no longer available. And notice that the group by button is also no longer available, as we also have only one group by rule available within this grid application. So let me change that then to state, and then run that. And now within the grid application, we have that group by customer, and the button is also still no longer available. Now, if I comment that out again and then run that, we will have then the grid application with our custom X states being our initial customer group by, as well as then also the group by button and group by options available to us again. Now this is a pretty powerful macro and very useful to use. So imagine a sales dashboard where maybe different roles require different data perspectives. Maybe for your sales reps, they may need to group data by your clients, while the managers, well, they might prefer grouping by region. So using the SC-hide group by rule macro, you can customize the data presentation dynamically, enhancing not only the usability, but also the relevance for each user when it comes to each of your grid applications that has group by rules. So with that, it is a wrap, and how to use the SC group by rule macro, well, that is it. With this macro, you can tailor your data views dynamically. It's a very simple yet effective way to enhance your user experience by presenting only the most pertinent data groupings. So if you found this tutorial enlightening, hit that like button, subscribe, and of course comment below with your experience using the SC-hide group by rule macro. Share your stories on how you've customized data views for different user roles, and stay tuned for more Scriptcase wizardry and magic right here at Scriptcase by Jamie.